So, hi, Hymm. I'm Steve Vise.
And Kenisha Boise, and welcome to In the Know podcast.
Thank you for having me.
So, Hymm, you are part of the basically royal Marley family. You are like the royal family in Jamaica, aren't you? You know, there's not a more famous family in Jamaica than the Marleys. So you're Bob Marley's grandson and Rita Marley's grandson. And you've got a new single out called Not Today, which I was listening to last night, and I absolutely love it, by the way.
Thank you.
Great song.
Speaking of Not Today, that's been released recently. Can I ask you, because it's not had any, well, it's more modern vibes and fresh compared to what your family usually share, what inspired you to do something different?
You know what? It's funny. I was just saying this to someone the other day, but basically, if you listen to my grandparents' music, you know, it's not just reggae and ska. There's elements of like rock, there's elements of jazz, blues, and so on. So it's something that essentially got, and then with my parents, like with my dad, for an example, he uses hip hop influences and other influences, like his parents before him. So that way of being able to blend different backgrounds, genres, different things have been passed on to me. I guess once I moved from Jamaica to Miami, I was more exposed to that more pop music in that sense, and then it's that influence is there as well. So
Was it your family that inspired you to get into music, or was it?
It's a blend of things. I mean, I've always, so my brothers and I, my brothers Johan and Joseph and I, we had a band when we lived in Jamaica.
Okay, nice.
We went by the Rebels, and it's something that was just my dad was in a band with his siblings, so it's something that it's not really pushed on us or expected of us. It just happened, in that sense.
Just enjoy in the moment.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we're around music since before we're born. So it's something that is around. It's something that is embedded in us. It's
just
something
in your
that
blood.
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So there's no pressure in that sense of oh, you guys have to be in music. Actually, it's the latter. It's like we have to work really hard at it. And then the adults, in the parents and stuff, it's kind of are like, okay, let me see how much you want it, and once you kind of do your groundwork, let's come in and help you now to get out there, basically. So.
And what would you say is the biggest influence out of the Marley family? So, what would you say inspired you?
Outside of it?
Yeah.
I mean, I would, in that aspect, I would say, like, being exposed to different genres. You know what I mean? It opened up, when I did my EP in 2019, for an example, or 2020, I have a song on there with my brother Johan. It's called You Don't Even Love Me. And it's more reggaeton vibe. My grandmother was born in Cuba. So when we were doing the record, it originally started as a one drop, and then I was kind of like, you know what, I want to pay homage to her roots in that way, because the producers we were working with at that time, they're heavily their background is they're Latin, so it kind of just worked out, and it's not something where it's more of a feeling. It's not like let's try this, let's try that. It's more like let's feel how this is, let's feel how that is, and if it works well on the record and feels natural, then it
That's the
gets
best way,
released.
though, isn't it?
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so it's nice.
feel it.
Yeah.
Are there any songs of your grandfather's that resonate with you the most, or any special meaning to you?
I mean, all of them in different times, in different reasons, in different seasons. Like songs like No Woman, No Cry. Songs like One Love. Like it has its days. It has its purpose.
Yeah.
So I don't really have a specific song that I can think of. I think all of them are great, depending on what is going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's next for you?
So,
career?
Fashion Week now in London. We
Yeah.
did New York. Now we're gearing up to wrap up London. And then,
What did you prefer, New York or London Fashion Week?
damn, they were both kind of like, it's different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's different and the same. But equally, I like them both equally because of the difference, you know?
Is it the first time you've been to London Fashion Week? Yeah.
How did you find yesterday's and the day before shows?
They're great, very eclectic. I thought that the range is great from like classic to some. Yesterday's show, I believe there was more of a costumey vibe.
Yeah.
There was,
Bit Hector definitely was.
You know what I mean? They had the thing on
A
the
lot of medieval.
yeah, you know what I mean? So I enjoyed it. I
Yeah.
enjoyed it. Yeah, it was nice. Yeah.
So, what's a fun or unexpected fact that most people won't know about you?
What's a fun or unexpected fact that most people won't know about me? I would say I'm really so my mother's half Norwegian.
Yeah.
So I really want to go. I really want to go and visit and kind of like see it and like immerse myself in that culture and maybe even like use the influence from their like their sounds and maybe put that in a song of mine one day. So yeah, that's
really
kind of like
That'll be
something.
really cool.
Yeah.
So, is there any advice you can give to someone writing and getting into the music industry?
God, when the other day I was explaining to someone that you always hear artists give such simple answers. You know, kind of like keep your head in there, stay, and it's so cliche, but it's true. You know, my response then would be like, just stay in there, do the work. You know what I mean? It's not gonna be easy, and anything that's worth something usually isn't.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I would say. You know, I've been at this now for what, 9 years, being and. You know, it's every day is a day to get better. You know what I mean? So that would be my advice. Yeah.
So, is there anyone in the industry that you would love to work with?
Oh my God, yeah. Outside of my family, Rihanna, Ed Sheeran. It's a long list. It's a long list, but kind of just I really someone from Jamaica that's really cool. Shensia.
Oh, yeah.
You have Spice. You have there's a ton of artists. You know, like Bruno Mars. You have someone that I really would love to work with to even write with would be Akon. I think that he's a great writer.
Yeah. Didn't he discover Gaga or
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, wow.
We put her on.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So. Yeah, so I before I was writing music, I started out with poetry.
Yeah.
So then it kind of evolved into into songwriting.
How long was you doing poetry before you decided to take it into music?
Started when I was in elementary school. I would journal a lot.
Yeah.
But then when I would journal, it would kind of like, I remember someone read it and it was a bit invasive. So poetry kind of became my way of saying what I wanted to say without saying what I wanted to say, and then that kind of like Not Today, for example, with that record, when I was at my lowest point, I was basically kicked when I was down.
Yeah.
So that record kind of wraps up my experience without me having to talk about what actually happened. You know what I mean?
I find it quite good and interesting how a lot of artists kind of turn how they're feeling into music, and a lot of people out there can relate to that. How do you feel about people relating to your songs?
It's like I say, I don't want to write my journal. I want to write ours.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that that's very important for me. Right.
Yeah.
Like, we might, obviously the characters in our lives are not the same, but I think everybody knows what feeling good is like, feeling bad is like, feeling sad is like, and that's a universal, those things are universal. And capturing those sentiments and feelings are something that I really, really, really aim to do. And I hope that, that's something that I'm able to do,
So do you prefer performing live or do you prefer performing into a studio?
I love them equally. I can't say one more than the other. You know, being in the studio allows you to iron out what you're saying, and being live allows you to connect with the people. So it's two different ends of the table, but still connected.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know?
So you get the quiet in the studio where you have time to think and concentrate and work.
And
on
make
your
sure
music.
make sure that what I'm saying will connect with when I'm live. In that sense, yeah.
No,
So has your family's legacy shaped you into the person you are? You know, the musical legacy.
Has there shaped my music? Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, I think that it plays like obviously the largest factor, but then there's obvious other factors. When you hear my music, you can hear it in there. So they would shape me with being able to. They'd shape me with being able to know how to write great music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How to get in there and get the beat right and make sure everything is right, and then you know, the other components are the elements that are added in. So yeah. Mm-hmm.
So if you wasn't doing music, is there any other things that you can see yourself doing, or what do you think you'll be doing instead of music?
So outside of music, acting, modeling, people tell me I should be a life coach. I could have been an attorney. You know, there's a long list of things that probably when I get a bit older, I'll lean into.
Have you explored any of that, or is it just thought right now?
No, so in LA, I'm between, in the States, I'm between a few of them, a few of the states. So I'm studying acting.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, you know, and I'm getting into modeling as well. So I'm excited
really
about those avenues.
How do you find learning the lines?
It's like learning a song. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You there's a saying, repetition is the father of learning.
Yeah.
You know, so as long as I do my work and, you know, kind of study it, then I'll learn it. So it's not that hard. It's kind of like learning a song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose because you've been writing music and poems and like making new things come out, it's an easier thing for you compared to other people just starting out.
Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think once you stay in it, it gets easier as like anything you do. You know?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you would like to give to people, advice-wise, or a bit more of experience that you'd like people to know that you haven't told us in this podcast? Is there anything else that you'd like to share?
I think other than us, I can't think anything that come to mind. You know, like we touched on the advice I would give to people, whether it be in music or not.
Any advice on what not to do?
Oh, that's a good one. Okay, the advice that I would tell people not to do is don't be someone you are not. You know what I mean? Because there's some artists that I've met that in their music and their artistry, they're this character, and then you meet them in life, and it's like, fuck.
And they're not like that.
And they're nothing like that. Yeah. And then it's kind of sad because...
Kills the illusion.
You know what I mean? And then it's like, oh, damn, why do I have to meet you? You know?
Well, they do say sometimes don't meet the people you...
Right. But, you know, but then you have... I've been fortunate to where the upbringing that I have, that they're authentic to who they are. You know what I mean? So when I meet, it's not that I have that expectation that everyone will be like that, but when I end up meeting them, I'm like, God damn, what happened here? You know, like, where did you go wrong? Like, what happened? You know, so my advice to artists and not artists is be who you are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because people feel it and you can't hide it, you know, like, so that's what I would say.
Always be kind as well, I'd
say.
You're not going to go anywhere not being a nice person.
You know what? But that kind of goes back to with what I was saying about be who you are. If you're if you're an ass, then be that, because that's what you... You should look, you should be nice, but it's more important to be who you are, because if you're not...
Well, they'll come out in the end anyway.
But that's my point. So you might as well not waste our time and kind of be just that, and then it's easier to digest, because then you know who you're working with, you know what to expect, you know what I mean, all of those, it makes the interaction easier.
Yeah, exactly.
Because then I don't need to interact with you. So that's
just do your job.
That,
and leave,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know? So, yeah, that's how I feel about that.
Any last words before we
One
wrap it up?
love. One love. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming
Of
on.
course.
And it's
Thank
been
you
a
guys for
pleasure to
having
meet
me.
you.
Yes, likewise.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
coming on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.